Okay, welcome to the second video of how to get your offer accepted in a multiple offer situation. My name is Brian Tessier, and this is Road to Closed Quick Hacks. All right, step six. Step six, I touched on it when I talked about the pre-qualification, pre-approval, and I said I didn't want to get into it, but now, guess what? I want to get into it. We're going to talk about getting fully underwritten. So I'm a realtor. I'm not a lender. I'm not going to pretend to be a lender. I hate when lenders try to be realtors, and I'm sure lenders hate whenever realtors try to be lenders. I know there's some agents out there that love to know everything, everybody's job. I'm a little different. You know, I kind of expect the lender to know their job, and I try not to step on their toes, etc. Because honestly, if I'm giving advice on lending and it's not the right advice, because things change a lot, and then it kind of gets messy. So what I'm talking about is get underwritten. Get as underwritten as you can. Your lender can get you underwritten, which is, again, taking you down. There's a long path of in the lending process, right? Pre-qual was first, and or pre-approval, and then you start the underwritten process. I'm not gonna speak to the underwritten process for multiple reasons. One I just spoke about, I'm not a lender. Speak to your lender about that. Say, hey, I saw this video, this Brian guy, and he talked about getting pre-approved versus pre-qualified. What do you think about that? Oh, then the lender should be, yeah, absolutely, it's gonna be a competitive market, let's do that. A good lender. If you get a lender that says, you don't need to worry about that, you should probably look at another lender. I'm not saying get another lender, but talk to one. You should also say, another thing he was talking about was getting underwritten. Can we get underwritten? So underwritten is until you find the property, you can't get fully underwritten, but you can get the underwritten process started. I've had buyers, again, I'm a heavy listing agent, so I've had listings in the unicorn market where buyers submitted offers that were partially underwritten, already down the path. And let me tell you, when I told my seller that, they were excited. Okay, step 7 is, don't have any inspection contingencies. In the unicorn market, believe me, and it's weird because as we were going into the unicorn market, I would never personally or professionally advise a buyer not to get a home inspection. So as we were entering the unicorn market, there may have been some agents that may have been a little bit ahead of me on that thinking, and I've already come to terms with the fact that you're not going to be able to ask for an inspection and win in a multiple offer situation during that unicorn COVID market, which again, we're heading into. So it took me a little while, and I said to my buyers, I've never recommend you not get a home inspection, but honestly, you're never going to get a house if you don't. So if you can go in without inspection contingencies, that's fantastic. Okay, so if you can't, sometimes what I've seen is, and I've done myself, is put in for informational purposes only. Because see, in the Pennsylvania market, if you do not have an inspection contingency written in, you cannot have a home inspection. Back when I was greener, I thought you could. I thought you could just skip the, put waived. We're not doing a home inspection, but still have it anyway. And I was quickly corrected. Brian, can't do that. So you can write in there, make a note in the summary section of the body of the email like we already spoke about, and on the actual offer, inspection for informational purposes only. What this means is, listen, I'm not gonna ask you to fix anything. I'm not gonna ask for a price reduction. Although I've written that in, found some stuff. I didn't ask them to fix it, but I asked for a price reduction. And I even got it. To compensate for the problem, because what happens is once they come off the market, they don't want to go back on, even with a bunch of offers waiting. So you have a chance. But anyway, enough of the parentheses here. So you can do that means I can have a home inspection and I can get out with my hand money if there's something catastrophic. So a backup idea to that is put a price in there. I've seen all kind of different options. So I've seen buyers say, hey, listen, we're going to do a home inspection, but we won't ask for anything under $10,000. What that basically means is I'm not gonna nickel and dime you, I'm not gonna ticky-tack you. So if there's like an interior door to the bedroom, right, and it's a hollow door and somebody put a hole through with their fist, we're not gonna ask you to fix that kind of small dumb stuff. Or if there's like one shingle missing. But if there's something massive wrong, like something on the foundation, all the windows are broken, something high dollar, we can get out with our hand money. We may ask you to repair it, we may not. So informational purposes only, put a dollar amount on the inspection. I love those. Okay, step 8. If you're gonna have an appraisal contingency, which again, so it depends on where we're at in the market, right? If we're in the unicorn market, you're not gonna ask for an appraisal contingency. But as interest rates slide down, we're gonna slide into that. So there's gonna be opportunity for you to get some of this stuff before we go into the unicorn market. You're not gonna be able to get any of it. So one thing I love is appraisal contingencies. A lot of times when we have a mortgage, most of the time, we have an appraisal contingency. If it's FHA, you have to have one, right? It has to appraise. So what you can do is put a dollar amount on there. Let's just say that, for round numbers, right? We put an offer in we got the house for $100,000, right? We think it's worth 90. So what we can say is, hey, listen, we will cover $10,000, up to $10,000 shortage with extra money from our bank. I say cash, I don't mean green cash, I don't mean crypto, I don't mean Venmo. So you can say, if you think there's a shortage, even if you don't know, you can even put it in there, hey, we will cover the shortage. It depends on the price range. I'm talking about a little $100,000 house, $10,000 is a big deal. But if you're talking about an $800,000 house, maybe you say, hey, listen, a $50,000 shortage. I can't give you that number because range, not so much the number, whether it's 10,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever, is gonna change depending on where we are in the market. So if we are just sliding into it, I'll cover $5,000 if we're short on the appraisal, right? But if we're knee deep into it, into the unicorn market and things are flying off the shelf, honestly, appraisal contingency is one of those things like the inspection you might have to pull out. But if you're not comfortable, I've had buyers do this before. They weren't comfortable and they would lose the houses. They would put a number on there. So, hey, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, Mr. Seller, whatever, we will cover any shortage up to $10,000 on the appraisal contingency. Good one, huh? I know you like it. Make sure you comment below, if you could, what you think about this, if you've done it before, if you think it's ridiculous, if you think you're gonna try it. Also, might as well subscribe, right? I'm gonna put a lot of good content for you. Hit that subscribe button, come on, smash it. All right, so hack 9 is give them the closing date they want. I mean, I gotta tell you, just about all the time when I have my buyers' offers written, I leave the closing date blank. Some listing agents are gonna be like, hey, there's no closing date on there. Yeah, it's because I want you to fill it in with what your sellers want. So give them the closing date they want. All right, hack 10 is, it might be a little too late, but hopefully your buyer's agent has a fantastic relationship with the listing agent. I've talked about this in other videos before. Listen, there's a lot of ethics and legalities and all this, but I can tell you this, unequivocally, without a doubt, 20% of the agents do 80% of the work. Right? So that 20% are the top producers, right? Not somebody who just got their license yesterday or in the COVID market sold 10 houses because it was the COVID market. I'm talking agents like myself that have been in the market for 16 years. I know the other 20% of the agents do. As a matter of fact, the one cash deal I got recently is a buyer transaction is a tough one. And the listing agents, they're the number 1 or 2 team in our MLS year over year. And we have a fantastic relationship, me and the other agent, one of the agents on the team. We both like sports cars, so we had that kind of conversation. And I didn't need to use that relationship to get the offer accepted. But I will tell you this, there were points that it got sticky. And it didn't get sticky between me and their agent. The seller had the upper hand and they knew it, so they were kind of, I'll say bullying. I know that's a sensitive word, but I'm just talking about negotiating here. Bullying us in the transaction. They got the closing date they wanted, they got the number they wanted, which is too high, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that I had a good relationship with the other agent made things a lot smoother, and at the end of the day, it's gonna help both, the seller doesn't even see it, it's gonna help the seller out, and it helps the buyer out. But if you're in a multiple offer situation, I'm telling you now, if I get 5 offers on a listing, and 2 agents I had a horrible experience with, which may have been my fault partially as well, I'm not saying they're terrible, and 2 agents just got their license, and I could tell by the fact that they didn't fill out the contract completely that they really need guidance and don't know what they're doing, which makes me nervous for my seller, but we're gonna make it to the closing table. And the 5th one is an agent I've done 1 transaction, 2 transactions against with over time, and it didn't even have to go smooth, right? It could just not go bad. So there's like, horrible, neutral, and amazing. Neutral compared to horrible is in the same page or the same category as amazing. So you want to try to, hopefully your agent has a good relationship with the listing agent. All right, hack 11 is whenever you write your offer, use an odd number. Like I just talked about, if the listing price is $499,999, and go over by 505. Originally I said 500,000, whatever, 505,000. 505,276. Why? Again, you're a marketer right now, right? Buyer's agent, you guys are marketers. You're trying to market your offer, the package, to the seller. So you want to stand out. You want to do anything favorable you can, chuckily, whatever, to stand out. So 502,786, I don't care. Pick any combination that does not have zeros and nines, right? Because we always do 500,000, 0000, 499, 000, 499, 900, 00. So you want to stay away from those because everybody else is going to do that. In agents like myself that are super organized, what I do is I grab all of the pertinent details, data off of the offer, and I put in a spreadsheet, right? Buyer's name or buyer's agent's name, asking price column, seller assist column, inspections, yes or no, radon, yes or no, pest, yes or no, home warranty, yes or no, right? I put this on a spreadsheet. So if I see all those numbers and they're all 499, 999, and then yours stands out at 505,276, again, we already talked about it. You only give it an extra $5,000, which over 30 years is nothing, and it stands out. Got a better chance. Go with the rest of my details. Be pre-approved, already start your underwritten process. I'm telling you, these are recipes for success. All right, so we are halfway through, a little over halfway through the 3-part series on how to get your offer accepted in multiple offer situation. I hope you're taking notes, right? Because at the end, I'm gonna give you a quiz.